Welcome to the Travel Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Aylin Blanco. I interview successful industry professionals and share my personal journey to becoming a travel agent. The show is for aspiring travel agents and travel professionals at every level. My mission is to uncover the universal keys to thrive in this business. Join me as I take a closer look into the life of a travel agent. Hello, and welcome back to the Travel Agent Podcast. Today, we have a wonderful, beautiful guest, and she is going to introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brianna Glenn. I am the owner of a boutique travel agency, Milk and Honey Travels. I've been in business for about 5 years, kind of started out of thin air, really jumped in the deep end when I decided, hey, travel sounds like a great industry to be a part of. So I figured out a lot of things along the way. It's been a great journey. It's been a lot of highs, lows. Of course, this year we kind of tanked, but still an amazing industry to be a part of. And I'm love sharing kind of ideas and strategies and what's working for me and what I'm doing and all that stuff with other people in the industry. So I'm happy to be here.
We are so happy to have you. So since you kind of just jumped in, tell us what sparked, what was the one thing that drove you to become a travel professional?
Honestly, it was the idea of being an entrepreneur and finding where that overlapped with something I was passionate about. So for me, my first career kind of out of college, I was a professional track athlete. And so for 10 years, I traveled the globe competing in the sport of track and field. And that really has nothing to do with actually planning vacations, but it did give me a love for travel. And so when I retired, it was more so a thought of what else can I do with my life that I just love, that I wake up every day. I'm passionate about it. I loved travel, but I also loved helping other people in my circle. Just when they were traveling, I wanted it to make sure that I could make their experience the best it could be. So I took on their honeymoons and their trips and whatever as just fun projects for me to get lost in. And so when it came time to actually think about what could a career in travel be like, I started from scratch just because I didn't know any travel advisors. I didn't know they actually still existed. I was like, yeah, that seems a little outdated. And so I started doing some research and some digging and really kind of understood what it looked like in today's day and age, this modern idea of a travel advisor, and how I could provide value in a way that people really needed, right? It wasn't necessarily just being that person where providing value and then figuring out how to make that a profitable business. So I started literally with the idea, hey, this sounds cool. And then kind of just figured it out as I went along. It was literally weeks from the idea in my head that I spoke out loud to putting up a website that said Milk and Honey Travels open for business. Not to say that there was a lot of business rolling in at first. As we all know, when we start out in this industry, it could be crickets, and it was. But it was just that idea that, hey, I have something here, and I just need to get more people on board, let more people know what I do and how I can help them, and it will grow from there. And that's just kind of what it's done.
So since you, like me, kind of started out with an idea of okay, we're just going to do this. What do you wish you would have known when you first started that you think would have been a lot more helpful?
So much. I think the idea of workflows, even how to go from start to finish in a way that makes sense and is what I can train my brain to start doing. How to niche, right? At first, I think we start and a lot of us we're just trying to get off the ground and we don't really know what our niche is, but we also are just hungry for business. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but we where there is a trip, I will plan it is not the best business strategy, right? Because I ended up doing hey, you want to go on a Carnival cruise? I got you. You want to go to Vegas for a weekend? I got you. And that wasn't what brought me joy. It was a lot of work for not a lot of money and not a lot of, sanity, right? So I think just learning how to find my niche and also learning how to run it as a business that would allow me to scale and grow. Those are things that I had to just figure out as I went along, which is fine. But, the earlier you learn those things, the better off you're going to be.
So on that same note, like, what is something that you were failing miserably at, like in the very, very beginning, where you have worked on it and have become like a rock star at right now?
Well, I said, like, I kind of mentioned this, but I didn't say no ever, like I just tried to make everything work that came in the door. Like, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. And now I'm great at saying no. Like, I love it. Let me get an inquiry that's not for me. Like, I will say no in a heartbeat, or, refer them to somebody better suited for them, or just let them know, hey, what you want and what you want to pay, like, that's something you should do on your own. I have to get great at saying no, and it has made my life and my business so much better, because I think when you create space for what you actually want, it helps your business grow. And you're filling it with all the things that you're just like saying yes to, you're full with things that don't actually bring you joy. So right now, my business is all about creating the actual business that I love, that is in line with who I am and what I see for, like, not only right now, but the future of my business and my life. I think we do this because we have this idea of the type of lifestyle we want, the type of life, the type of business, and then we get caught up in, like, a different mentality, right? And so I have tried to kind of like reverse that and do the best that I can to, like, actually design the life that I want.
I love that so much. I want everyone to hear one more time. Saying no is a beautiful thing.
so much.
So let's talk about COVID. So what have you done, if you've done anything differently, and what do you plan to do going forward? Because obviously this has hurt your business, it's hurt us all. So what have you been doing to kind of rebound or pivot for the future?
Yeah, I think we all have found ourselves in a situation we had no playbook for, right? And at the beginning of this whole global pandemic, nobody was really of the mindset of how extreme this was and how long it was going to be and the impact and interruption it was going to have in our business. And so at first you're like, oh, this is a bummer, like canceling all those spring trips. And then you're like, canceling all those summer trips. And then you're all, cancel 2020. Like, it's all over. And so it's just the acceptance, number one, that comes with, like, this is so out of our control. There's nothing we can do about it. And to accept that is a very big step, because it allows you to be able to pivot in the ways that you need, and also to look towards the future. Like, as hard as it is, 2020 is a big loss for pretty much everyone. And so what I did was, a couple months in, I pivoted to offering more inspiration in terms of, like, domestic travel, right? Which is something I was not in my portfolio. I would say I did 98% international trips. And then all of a sudden, here I am talking about how great it is to go to a national park. And that wasn't necessarily because this is what I want to build my business on. It was more so I was thinking of my clients, right? These clients that I love, what can they do this year, and how can I help them? And so it was not necessarily me becoming this domestic specialist, but more so meeting my clients' needs. And so I began to create content that was around, domestic travel, and I began to create experiences for, baby moons or getaways or whatever, road trips. I learned all about the Northeast. I never knew anything about that part of the country. And so I had to pivot in that way. Not that it was like this big moneymaker, and not that it could cause business to boom, but it did bring in something. And also it allowed me to continue to serve my people. So that was the biggest thing. And then now, thinking forward to 2020 and how I'm thinking about business and pivoting my business, I'm just really focused on specific types of travel that are going to work well with this quote unquote new normal. So a lot of, different destinations. And maybe I did a lot of Paris. I did a lot of Rome. I did a lot of these big cities. I don't think that's going to be the thing for a while. So it's more about nature and privacy and, getting off the beaten path. And so that's where I kind of am going to pivot my business to focus more on that type of travel, because I think that that is where we're going to hang out for a while.
I also, again, want to point out, like, meeting your customers where they are and giving them what they need. That, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. I'm glad that you didn't wallow for too long.
I mean, we can't, it's like, it is what it is.
Right? So what is one of the most important things that you've gained from working in the travel industry?
I mean, working in the travel industry for me is not only just about like having this worldwide perspective, just about life, right? Like appreciation of cultures and all of that thing, but it's giving those ideas that are so important to me, helping my clients experience the same thing. Like it's very important for me for a client to have the best hotel and awesome amenities and whatever, but I also want them to have like life transformation, if that's, not too woo-woo to say, because I think that is the biggest gift travel can give us. It's the biggest gift it's given me. And I honestly want that to be something that like clients experience when they go on trips that I've planned, not just, hey, this was cool, but like literally these are moments and memories that they're going to have forever. And that's a really great gift to give someone. Yeah, we're not like solving problems necessarily, but we are like creating joy and creating like memories. And that's really an important part of life.
Agreed. So I want to go back to something that you said a little bit earlier that I truly believe more entrepreneurs should think about is creating your business around the lifestyle that you want to live and just to bring you joy, to do things that bring you joy. Obviously, there's going to be parts of our job that we don't like, but for the most part, we get to kind of create that. So how do you create that? Like, do you have a system that you use for time management and for organization that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I think the first thing that I did that created a lot more space was realizing that I didn't need to do all things myself. And so offloading tasks that did not need to be done by me was the first step. And it always happens before you think you're ready. So I'll just put that out there because we all are like, whoa. Like, I need all of this. I don't want to share. Like, number one, we think that we're the only ones that can do what we do. And then number two, a lot of times we think that like, I can't afford that. I can't afford help. But it kind of goes back to that idea of what I was saying about when you're full with with all of the things, there's no room for the things that like are your genius to attract more of that, right? So I had to start with first getting rid of all of the tasks that did not need to be done by me. And that started with a virtual assistant. And then now it's just a associate that I have that works with me who I'm essentially training like as a clone of myself. What I've realized as I go on in business, there are very few things that require me, Brianna, to do. Right? Yes, I have a personal brand, so I'm the face of the brand and it is very much connected to me. But like invoicing does not have to be me, right? Like there's a lot of things that we do because we wear so many different hats that when we're looking at how do we create space in our life and in our business and stay focused on our zone of genius, it's going to require having other people do supporting roles. And that's okay. It's great to not feel like I have to do everything. And it's great to be able to trust people that know what they're doing to support me and the business really well. I think that that's the biggest, sometimes it's a mindset shift, but it has been so important in kind of like my journey.
I love that so much. It took me a while to figure that out. You're right. Like some of us are definitely control freaks and think that, if it's not us, it can't be done.
It can't be done.
Which is crazy.
There's no way somebody else could write an email. Only I can write it.
Right? So this is my favorite part is tell me what is something that is really exciting that's happening and that's going to or already happened in your life and in your business.
So in my life, this week, my family and I are heading back to Mexico. So I'm really excited about that. And then we've also, my son is quite loud, so I apologize if you can hear him in the background. We also have just booked our trip to Hawaii in January. So I'm really excited to take, I always imagined our family doing like all these amazing, trips and stuff. And then this first year of my son's life has been like, well, we'll go stay in a cabin an hour away. And so just, to start thinking and dreaming about what we can start to do. And obviously we're still limited, but it's still nice to have something to look forward to. Like it's giving me so much joy to be like, book, like to just click that booking. Like, it's like, yes, I have something to look forward to. So personally, that's what we're really looking forward to. And in my business, I always do this, and I'm doing it this year. I take a weekend to go away on my own and fully like dream and goal set and write down like my desires for next year. And it's crazy because, I did this last year, and I'll tell you, not many of those came true. Did not see that manifestation in many of those goals, but that's okay. I think you cannot go somewhere where if you haven't thought of it first, right? So for me, this weekend that I go away and plan for the next year is such an important foundation for what comes next. And so I look forward to it. I look forward to no distraction. I get out of my normal work zone. So not in my office, not in my home. And it's just time to put it down on paper, start to see how does this come to life and start to believe that it's possible. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll be doing that in a few weeks.
That is awesome. That's such a great idea. Because we've kind of just all been stuck in our homes and, it's just been rough. And so to be able to actually take yourself out of that situation, to be able to do that, I might have to do that. I might be stealing that idea.
It's lovely. It's lovely. Yeah. It's the best.
Well, you have given us so much information. I am so excited to see what you manifest for 2021. So we definitely will be following up with you. And if you'd like to learn more, you can go to the Travel Agent Podcast /blog to learn more. But thank you so much for coming on the show and keep being awesome. And we look forward to following up with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Thank you for joining the Travel Agent Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Visit thetravelagentpodcast.com for more information about today's episode and other travel agent resources. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for new episodes. Until next time, continue to build a travel business you love.